So my dear students, we were talking about this chapter, acid, base and salt, in which we had started with reactions of acids and bases. Under reactions of acids and bases, let us repeat quickly once again the first type, that was neutralization. Come on quickly, I want everyone to tell with me what is neutralization reaction. Come on everyone. Neutralization reaction is the one in which acid reacts with a base to give us salt and water. Very good, Rishi. Apart from that, the next type which we studied was reaction of acids with metal. What happens when acids react with metals? When acids react with metals, yes, you are correct. We get salt and hydrogen. Very nice. And the next type, reaction of acids with oxides of metal. If a metal oxide is made to react with the acid, what is the product? Salt and water. Very nice. So if I take the oxide of the metal, the product is going to be salt and water. And with that, we also come to know that metal oxides are dash in nature. Metal oxides are basic in nature. Very good. So next type is reaction of bases with non-metal oxides. When I make the non-metal oxide react with the base, again the product is salt and water, but I get one statement which states that non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Very good, Rishi. Yes, very nice. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Along with that, we also studied a topic which is called as amphoteric oxide. Do you all remember this term? I'll quickly have a recap of amphoteric oxide. Amphoteric oxides are those which can react with both acids as well as bases. The two examples which we are going to have is aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. Aluminium oxide is Al2O3 and zinc oxide is ZnO. When both of them are made to react with the base, we get a complex compound which is called as aluminium oxide is going to give me sodium aluminate and zinc oxide is going to give me sodium zincate. Please, you have to remember these products, and I have already told you to write this in the previous class only. I think we are done with amphoteric oxide in the last class, and you have also written this. Please, these reactions are little difficult, so you need to write and understand. So quickly, come on, repeat after me. Aluminium oxide reacts with the base to form sodium aluminate and water. Come on, repeat. Sodium aluminate and water. Formula of sodium aluminate is NaAlO2. NaAlO2. Very good. Yes, I've told you to by heart them. Similarly, zinc oxide reacts with the base, which is NaOH, will give us the product as sodium zincate and water, and the formula of sodium zincate is going to be Na2ZnO2. Na2ZnO2. Only these two examples we have to study under amphoteric oxides, so please make sure you learn them by heart. After this, the fifth type of reaction which we had done was reaction of acids with carbonates and bicarbonates of metal, where we have already completed with the carbonate. This we had done, right, in the last class? Have we completed? Okay. So this is the reaction of carbonate with dilute acid, giving us salt, water, and carbon dioxide. Have you written this? Salt, water, and carbon dioxide. This is completed, right, everyone? Very good. So now we are moving ahead and we are going to do the next type, that is bicarbonates. Again, for bicarbonates, the concept still remains the same. Bicarbonate of the salt of metal plus dilute acid will give me another salt of metal plus carbon dioxide plus water. CO2 plus H2O is going to remain the same, and the salt will depend upon the acid which we are using. In the first case, I have used sodium bicarbonate plus HCl, giving me sodium chloride plus carbon dioxide plus water. Yes, you have to write this. First, write the general equation, then copy the equation for sodium bicarbonate. I want everyone to first write this much, then we'll solve the second and the third one. And for the students who are actively participating in the class, who are answering my questions, who are asking me questions, I highly appreciate. And for those students who are still not doing it, Please sit properly. Don't yawn. I know it's your afternoon nap time, you're tired, you don't want to study, but please students, I want you to be little active in the class and try to understand what your teacher is teaching. So I want everyone to have notebooks with you and write these two equations quickly. If you have done with the first example, let us start with the second one. Are we done with the first one? Are we done? All right, very good. I am already getting answers for the second and the third equation. Very nice. If you're able to answer the question, you should pat your back, because really that's a very good thing and you have understood the topic of this reactions very well. And for those students who are finding it a little difficult, let us quickly answer the second question. Next one is potassium bicarbonate reacts with nitric acid. What's the formula of nitric acid? HNO3. One product which I know is going to be formed is carbon dioxide and water. These two products we know because the bicarbonate and carbonate are definitely going to give us these products. Along with that, as nitrate, NO3 is there in the acid, the salt will be also of the nitrate. And what is the metal we are using? The metal is potassium. So my answer becomes potassium nitrate, which is KNO3. Was everybody able to get this answer? Everyone? Very good. Everybody got the answer of potassium nitrate? Very nice. All right. Next one. Next one you might find it a little tricky. For that, you know what? We have the bicarbonate salt of the metal. See, third one I'm explaining. If you're not able to understand the third one, I'll again go back to the second one. Okay. So for now, concentrate on the third one. The bicarbonate salt of the metal which I am having here is sodium bicarbonate, which is NaHCO3. The CO3 is going to form the product as CO2, right? And the other product which I get is H2O. I think CO2 and H2O, everybody might have got this because we know it's carbon dioxide and water. Now, the salt of the metal which is given to us, there the metal mentioned is sodium. There the metal mentioned is sodium. Obviously, it has to be sodium because we are using sodium bicarbonate. So the CH3COO stands for the weak acid, which is my acetic acid. So the acid which I am using here is CH3COOH. Yes, that is vinegar. Acetic acid or vinegar, which is CH3COOH. Okay, so this is a very important question, that why acetic acid came first and then the sodium. A very important question and very nice question, Rishi. Many of you might be thinking, ma'am, हमेशा हम sodium को पहले लिखते हैं, तो अभी carbon पहले क्यों लिखा है? The reason is because, student, when sodium is combining with chlorine, they are ionic bond. There is crisscross of valency. There is interchange of valency. That is why positive ions come first and negative ions come later on. But when we are dealing with carbon and its compound, carbon does not give or take electrons, it shares the electrons. And because it is sharing, there is a covalent bond being formed. And when there is covalent bond, we don't take into consideration about the positive and negative charges. We take into consideration the bond which is free. Yes, CH3COOH is aqueous state. I think I forgot to mention there, so please write. Sodium bicarbonate is baking soda and sodium carbonate is washing soda. Third example, I repeat once again, you have to check whatever details is given to you. And you need to keep in mind the acids which we have learned. You need to keep the number of acids. See, most of the acids which you have learned, my dear students, is hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, carbonic acid. And we have also learned about weak acid, acetic acid. So here in the product which is given to me, I can easily see that it is containing CH3COO. That means definitely in my reactant acetic acid is going to come. The product which is given to me, that helps me understand what will come in the reactant. You have to write AQ at the base of acetic acid. One more nice question, Harshit, and that is, no, I think who asked me this? Parth. Okay, Parth asked me, ma'am, why it is written COO? Very good question. Why didn't I write it CO2? Why there was a need to write COO? Anybody knows answer to this question? OO को अलग क्यों लिखा है, साथ में क्यों नहीं लिखा है? Because Razeen, acetic acid का formula is CH3COOH, which we study under weak acid. That is the formula, correct. But along with that, you should remember that's a functional group of carbon, COOH. If I write both the two together, if I write CO2 together, then you will get confused between whether it is carbon dioxide or whether it's a carbon compound. So to avoid that confusion, whenever we are writing carbon compounds, we make sure we write the elements individually. All right. And the clarity will come much more when we are studying more in detail about carbon chapter in the next term. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, so you cannot write COO as CO2. You cannot write that. You have to write it in the way it is given, CH3COONA. So with this, we understand the topic of reaction of metals with sodium bicarbonate and sodium carbonate. In both the reactions, if you observe, my dear student, carbon dioxide gas is getting liberated, right? Carbon dioxide gas is getting liberated. Now, how do I come to know that the reaction is complete or not? So to make sure that my reaction is complete or not, I allow the gas which is coming out from this reaction to pass into a test tube which is containing lime water. Have you all heard about lime water? Yes, I think I taught you. Lime water. What's the formula of lime water? What's the formula of lime water? Anybody? CaCO3 is calcium carbonate. CaOH twice. I think few students had given me this answer. Yes, Arjun, you are correct. Calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide is the formula of lime water. I allow carbon dioxide gas to pass through lime water. When we do that, the lime water turns milky. The lime water turns milky. I'm sure you might have heard about this experiment. Lime water turning milky, because this was there in 8th standard as well. And after it turns milky, it forms a compound which is called as calcium carbonate. And that is the confirmatory test to understand that the reaction as carbon dioxide is given out in the reaction. Did you get me? Everybody, did you understand this? And few students are not understanding the second one. I'll tell you, you have to see what is present on the left hand side and what is present on the right hand side. When you check both the reactants and products, you cancel off what is already covered in the reaction, and then what you are left with, you can easily make the product. See, no, don't get confused. No, see, in the second reaction, I have potassium nitrate, right? Potassium bicarbonate, it is KHNO3 plus HNO3 gives me CO2 and H2O. Did you get that? CO2 और H2O मिलेगा. बाकी reactant में acid किसके साथ बना है? Nitric acid, which is NO3. और metal कौन सा है? Potassium. So when I combine potassium with nitrate, I get the product as potassium nitrate. And neutralization reaction is the one where acid reacts with base to give us salt and water. And lime water experiment was that carbon dioxide gas is allowed to pass through lime water. In this equation, carbon dioxide is given out. I need to check whether the carbon dioxide gas is given out or not. I allow it to pass through lime water. So lime water turns milky, gives me the indication that yes, carbon dioxide gas is given out. Have you all written these two equations? Did you all write this? All right. So we have done with these types, which is carbonates and bicarbonates, and we also understood what is the lime water experiment. Now I'm going to teach you something important here. That is types of salt. Razin, we are not writing that because they are not coming under the covalent bond formation. Only for carbon and oxygen, we will take that into consideration. Specifically for carbon. So now we are going to study types of salts. There are 3 types of salt. Yes, acidic, basic and neutral salt. Here again, we are going to take into consideration the neutralization reaction, which is acid plus base giving me salt and water. Where the acid, under acids and bases, we have studied 2 types. Either it can be a strong acid or a weak acid, or it can be a strong base or a weak base, right? So in this equation, I am taking SA, which stands for strong acid. SB stands for strong base. So when strong acid reacts with strong base, I get the product as neutral salt and water. How do I come to know that the salt is neutral or not? That is with the help of, anybody can tell me, how do I come to know whether it is neutral or not? क्या चीज का यूज करेंगे हम लोग to check whether it is neutral, whether it is acidic? Very good, it's pH. Very nice. So if the pH is equal to 7, if the pH is equal to 7, I come to know that it's a neutral salt. So HCl is a strong acid, NaOH is a strong base. They combine with each other, and the salt which we get is neither acidic nor basic, so it is called as neutral salt. Similarly, if I take a combination of strong acid and weak base, I've given you the example of neutral salt. Strong acid and weak base. Abhi, it's very logical. If the acid content is strong, what type of salt are we going to use? Yes, it's the acidic salt and water. But here the salt will be acidic because the acidic content is strong. Similarly, strong base, weak acid. Strong base, weak acid is going to give me basic salt and water. So we get the basic salt. So what will be the combination of weak acid, weak base? What will be weak acid, weak base? Neutral again. Yes, you're correct. It will be neutral again. So did you understand the types of salt? It was very simple. Do you want to write all this? Do you want to write all this? Okay. If you ask me, I would suggest that if you just write the short forms like SASB gives me neutral salt and water, SAWB gives me acidic salt and water. Like that you can write. So it will be quicker also and you will understand also. So do that fast, please. Yes, it is there in the textbook, but it's not there in the direct format. If you read the textbook, you'll definitely come to know. These short forms will help you understand easily and they will help you write it remember it faster. I hope everybody is able to understand the chapter. I don't assume that I'm running too fast today. Both the forms is available. Universal indicator bottle is available. Then we can also make a pH paper from that. Yes, it's logical, correct. NaCl is the one Advait which is used. I think now you might have finished writing. So let's move ahead and learn water of crystallization. The next topic which we are going to learn today is called as water of crystallization, WOC. Let's understand what's water of crystallization. There are certain fixed number of water molecules present in the crystal structure. On heating or exposure to air, these salts lose their water of crystallization and turn into a substance which is termed as anhydrous. See, hydra word is usually associated with water, and anhydrous means without water of crystallization. If they are doing that, if they are losing their water of crystallization, that means they are losing their shape and color. That means water of crystallization is responsible for giving shape and color. Let us understand this with the help of this experiment here. I have taken a compound which contains water of crystallization. The example here is copper sulfate. Now the formula of copper sulfate is CuSO4. Water of crystallization does not mean a different, it is dissolved in water or something like that. The water is present into the crystal structure itself. And that water molecule is responsible for giving shape and color. So this copper sulfate which is present here, which is also called as blue vitriol, is blue in color. So when I heat such compounds which is containing water of crystallization, it will, if you heat this compound, agar main ye copper sulfate ko heat karungi, to kya hoga? You can see drops of water in the test tube here along the lining, and the color is also lost. Agar color loss hua hai, iska matlab water evaporate ho gaya hai. So that water was responsible for giving color to the copper sulfate, isn't it? When I heat such compound, it will lose its water. So it's losing its water, that means it's losing its color as well. So that is responsible for giving shape and color. And this reaction helps us understand that when CuSO4, the representation of writing water of crystallization is by putting a dot in between. You write the formula CuSO4, then you write dot in between, and then you write 5H2O. If you're thinking, ma'am, shape kaisa hoga? For shape, my dear students, you cannot see a specific shape. It's a crystal structure inside what the shape is lost. That we have to see under the microscope. With our naked eye, we can just see substances. Yes, if I add water to the substance, again the color will come back. Yes, video crystallization, very nice videos you will get. Yes, the blue color will come back, correct. The dot is compulsory. That dot helps us understand that water of crystallization is present inside the structure. That is how the representation of water of crystallization is done. So this reaction, if you see properly, I have written the same reactant and product. But the only difference is product में मैंने बीच में plus sign डाला है. उसका मतलब क्या है कि यहाँ पे water remove हो गया है और reactant में water is attached with the substance. Is it clear everyone now? Yes, it will become blue again. So once again, I'll repeat what's water of crystallization. These are the fixed number of water molecules present in the crystal structure. On heating or exposure to air, these substances lose the water of crystallization and turn into substance, which will be called as anhydrous. What is the term given once they lose the water of crystallization? Anhydrous substance. And what is water of crystallization responsible for? Giving shape and color. No, don't write all this. I'll give you a few more terms related to water of crystallization here. Crystalline substances contain water of crystallization. The molecules of water of crystallization are part of the internal arrangement of the crystal. On heating or just by keeping the water of crystallization, it is lost and the crystalline shape of that substance is also lost. Did you understand? The molecules of water of crystallization, like I am saying that water of crystallization, I'll repeat once again. I said that water of crystallization is responsible for giving shape and color. I think the term color is very clear to you. Color का concept सबको समझ में आया? Did you all understand the concept of color? Yes. The color is lost by heating. The water is also lost. But if you see that the crystal structure when we see it under the microscope, not with the naked eye. Naked eye में हमको वो सिर्फ normal crystals ही दिखता है. But if I heat it, it will lose its crystal lattice. No, powder कुछ भी नहीं. Crystal lattice होता है. वो crystal lattice structure disturb हो जाता है. Correct. It's a physical process. Did you all understand now? What you are going to remember in this topic is the examples of water of crystallization. Very important. The 4 examples given to us is crystalline blue vitriol, that is CuSO4.5H2O, crystalline ferrous sulfate, also called as green vitriol, FeSO4.7H2O, crystalline washing soda, which is nothing but sodium carbonate.10H2O, and crystalline alum. See, alum basically is made up of 2 compounds, potassium and aluminium sulfate. So if I had to write all the formula together, it would have been a little confusing. So to make it easier, we are learning the formula of alum as potassium sulfate, that is K2SO4, dot aluminium sulfate, that is Al2SO4 thrice, dot 24H2O. The dot indicates that everything is inclusive under one formula only. Everything is inclusive under one formula. Yes, it looks like a crystal. See, crystallization process, what you're thinking, what you might have seen on YouTube is different from water of crystallization. I'm sure everybody has seen alum. Have you heard about alum or have you seen alum? Yes, if you see, it's kind of a whitish substance which is used for cleaning water usually. Correct. Hindi name is Fitkari, right? I want everyone to give the heading as water of crystallization and write these examples. Please, everyone write it down. Do not take screenshots. It's a request. You can use that also. Correct. It is used. Gypsum, yes, is also an example of water of crystallization. Correct. Are you all writing? No, Sahil, no, you can't say that. Are you done? Come on, if you, those who have done can repeat after me. Crystalline blue vitriol is CuSO4.5H2O. Crystalline ferrous sulfate, that is green vitriol, is FeSO4.7H2O. Crystalline washing soda is sodium carbonate .10H2O, Na2CO3.10H2O, and crystalline alum is potassium sulfate aluminium sulfate .24H2O. I was explaining about water of crystallization, where I had asked students to write these examples. It's just a laboratory name given to it. Are we done? Everybody's finished writing here? All right. Now, moving ahead, we are going to come to the topic of ionic compounds and electrical conductivity. Ionic compounds and electrical conductivity. I want everyone to pay attention here because I'm not going to give you to write anything currently. You will all have to listen to me carefully because it's little different of what we have been studying chemistry till now. Okay, I think few students wanted this. Please write it fast. Yes, we will know the color change. I never knew there are students named Redmi also in the class. Yes, this table is there in the textbook. Yes, I'll tell you that what type of water will conduct electricity. Are we done with this? All right. So I am talking about ionic compounds and electrical conductivity. I want everyone to listen to me very carefully when I am teaching this. Just give me a minute. I know Redmi is the mobile name, but why you can't change your names? Yes, Jay, you will come to know that. Just a minute. Because I haven't given you that. Namra, I can read your chats. Okay. So like I said, we were talking about ionic compounds and electrical conductivity. For that, I want everyone to see this diagram carefully. Here, what am I doing is, I'm going to prepare a solution of 1 gram sodium chloride in 50 ml of water. Then I'm going to take 2 electrical wires and connect one to the positive terminal, another to the negative terminal, as you can see in the diagram. Positive terminal and negative terminal with the 6-volt battery. And then I am going to take the salt solution in the beaker. And there's a switch and there's a bulb. This is helping me to complete the circuit. I'm going to take the salt solution in 100 ml capacity beaker, immerse the uncovered ends of the 2 wires. Are you all understanding? I'm immersing the end of the 2 wires erect with the help of a support. And then what am I going to do is, I'm going to switch on the current. I've taken 1 gram of sodium chloride dissolved in 50 ml of water. ये solution use किया हमने 100 ml beaker में, एक battery को connect किया. Now when I switch on the current, we are going to check whether the bulb is going to glow or not. Immersing means dipping it, dipping inside the solution. I am repeating the process once again. Here I am going to check my ionic compounds and their electrical conductivity. I am preparing 1 gram sodium chloride solution in 50 ml water. That entire solution I'm going to take in 100 ml capacity beaker, immerse the 2 wires. These 2 wires are the ones which are good conductors of electricity. Immersing means dipping inside the solution. Then I have kept the apparatus in such a way that I have a switch and a bulb. Switch and a bulb. You try to listen to me, you will not find it difficult. Switch and a bulb, and once I switch on the electric current, I will check whether the bulb will glow or not. and I will have to repeat the same experiment with different solutions like copper sulfate, glucose, urea, sulfuric acid, and sodium hydroxide, and so on. But let us first talk about using sodium chloride. What exactly happens in this? Again, I'm showing you the diagram. Okay, the diagram is not coming here. The bulb will glow only when the electric current will pass through it. Definitely yes. Bulb glow kab hoga? Jab circuit complete hoga. You learned physics, right? So, and this can happen only when the electrical circuit is complete. And how do I know when the electric circuit is complete? That in the above activity, the circuit is found to be complete when the aqueous solution of sodium chloride, copper sulfate, sulfuric acid, and sodium hydroxide are used. VK Sami, nice mask, huh? VK stands for Vikroli. Okay. See, chemistry becomes difficult when in between you start searching what type of masks look good on you. So better you concentrate on the class. We had taken few solutions, do you remember, along with sodium chlorides, copper sulfate, sulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide. I said we want to use glucose and urea as well. In glucose and urea, the bulb did not glow. But in sodium chloride, copper sulfate, sulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide, the bulb glowed. Can you tell me why this happened? Why the bulb was glowing for these cases and why it did not glow for glucose and urea? Because glucose and urea are carbon compounds. They contain covalent bond. No, they are carbon compounds. They contain covalent bond. That means uske andar positive or negative charges nahi hai. In sodium chloride, which is NaCl, I have one which is Na plus and one which is Cl minus. It's not about being a salt. It's about having ions. Even if it's a salt, it's an acid or a base, I'm going to have these ions. So when these ions are ionizing in the solution, do you remember the word dissociation? We've spoken about dissociation in the beginning of the chapter. That the ionic compounds dissociate in water. So when they're dissociating, they're forming their respective charges and go to the positive charges and negative electrodes. हमने terminals को charge provide किया था ना, and that is why the circuit gets complete and it conducts electricity. So it means these solutions are good conductors of electricity. Now, why this was happening? Because electrons conduct electricity through electrical wires and ions conduct electricity through liquid or a solution. Electrodes are the one which conducts electricity. Electrons leave the battery at the negative terminal, complete the electric circuit and enter the battery at the positive terminal. Basically, ये जो ions है, how atoms get converted into ions? Tell me. I'll explain once again. मुझे बताओ, sodium chloride मेरा एक compound है. How does it get converted into its ions? Sodium ion कैसे बनता है? Sodium ion कैसे बनता है? When it is donating electron, correct? When it is donating electron, that means there are electrons inside the circuit, no? Na plus कब बनता है? जब वो इलेक्ट्रॉन को डोनेट करता है. That means electrons leave the battery at the negative terminal and they enter the battery at the positive terminal. So one is going to donate, the other one is going to accept. In this way, my electrons get moved inside the solution and my circuit is complete. Did you understand now? So when there is a liquid or a solution in the circuit, two rods or wires or plates, whatever I'm using to complete the circuit, immersed in it, they are called as electrodes. Electrodes are usually made of a conducting solid, which can be either positive or negative. So the electrode connected to the negative terminal of the battery is called as cathode, and electrode connected to the positive terminal of the battery is called as anode. Acha, I think a lot of students are getting confused here. Let me come back again from the beginning. सबसे पहले हम लोग क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? Electrical conductivity, where we tested the electrical conductivity of a solution called as sodium chloride. VK Sami, after the lecture, please wait. I need to talk to you. Huh? Please wait. So I am repeating once again. We are talking about the electrical circuit. Sodium chloride solution. Sodium chloride solution means which ions? Na plus and Cl minus. That we have put it into the solution. I have taken electrodes. Electrodes are the ones which are good conductors of electricity, can be made of any conducting material. अभी ये electrode को नाम दिया जाता है. एक नाम होता है cathode और दूसरा नाम होता है anode. cathode and anode means the charges to which they are attached. If the negative terminal is attached to the electrode, उसका नाम बन जाएगा cathode. अभी अगर तुम सोच रहे हो कि cathode को negative क्यों बोला है, cathode is usually made for cations, right? Cathode जैसा नाम तुम सुन रहे हो वो cations के लिए बनाया होगा, isn't it? Cations का charge क्या है? What's the charge on cations? What's the charge on cations? Positive. So अगर positive को उसके यहाँ पे attract होना है तो उसको कौन सा चार टर्मिनल देना पड़ेगा? If I want positive to get attracted towards cathode, yes, I will have to give it the opposite charge, that is negative. That is why even though my cathode is made for cations, I will connect it to the negative terminal because we all know that opposites attract. So cathode is negative and anode is positive. Cathode is negative and anode is positive. So these all bulb will glow only in case of solutions which are containing ionic bond, which are formed by give and take of electrons. Because once they form ions, they will give and accept electrons, and then my circuit will be completed and the bulb will glow. Now did you understand? Electrode is the one which are conductors of electricity, which can either be cathode or anode. Cathode is negative, anode is positive. Is it clear, everyone? Did you understand now what is the meaning of electrical conductivity? Sure? All right. So now, along the similar lines, you did not understand electrode. See, electrode क्या होता है मालूम है? कोई भी ऐसा substance जो electricity conduct कर सकता है. जैसे graphite. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon, right? Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. तो अगर वो electricity conduct कर सकता है तो वो electrode हो गया. अगर copper electricity conduct करता है तो copper electrode हो गया. Aluminium can conduct electricity, means electricity can pass through it, no? So that means it is also an electrode. Now did you understand? First and second point. Okay, I'll explain once again in the next time. So here I am talking about dissociation of the ionic compounds. NaCl cannot be an electrode. NaCl is a substance. Electrode are the two things which were dipped inside the solution. NaCl cannot be an electrode. NaCl is the solution which is going to conduct electricity. Electrodes are the ones which will be connected to the battery, which are acting as a medium for the movement of electricity. Yes, the two wires were electrode. Now I think it's clear. Okay, I'll go a little slow. If that topic is clear, then we'll move with dissociation of ions and electrical conductivity. Yes, the two wires were electrode. The ones which were dipping inside the solution. See, electrodes now, in the next slide, no, when I'll be teaching more about this electrolysis, you will understand exactly the concept of electrode. All right, let us go ahead and try to understand. Dissociation of ions and electrical conductivity. Here you can see how ions are dissociated. Now can you see positive or negative rods यहाँ पे बनाया है? यहाँ पे मैंने circuit को complete नहीं किया, just to make you understand about dissociation. Can you see the two rods here? These two rods means electrodes, which can be either graphite, aluminium, copper, anything. Yeah, they can be made up of copper also. And inside this, there is a solution which dissociates and gives me the ions. So a characteristic of a liquid state is the mobility of its particles. बराबर हमने पढ़ा है liquid state में the particles move very easily. Due to this mobility, the positively charged cations in the solution are attracted towards the negative electrode or cathode. And on the other hand, the negatively charged anions move in the direction of the anode. The movement of the ions in the solution towards its respective electrodes accounts for the conduction of electricity through the solution. From this, we understand that liquids or solutions which contain large number of dissociated ions conduct electricity. Mobility means movement. Okay, I'll repeat this once again. We are talking about dissociation. Association मतलब मालूम है? Association मतलब क्या? Attach होना. तो डिसोसिएशन मीन्स व्हाट? अलग हो जाना, रिमूव हो जाना, सेपरेट हो जाना. मोबिलिटी मीन्स मूवमेंट, movement of particles. Liquid state mein the particles are at a moderate distance from each other. That means they have the ability to move. They have the ability to move. So that is why it is called as mobility. Now did you get that? And due to this mobility, due to this movement, positive charged ions negative electrode के पास जाते हैं और negatively charged ions positive electrode के पास जाते हैं. Did you understand this now? Is it clear? Still no. You okay? Again, going back, urea does not contain because it's a carbon compound. Just give me a minute. I'll just. I think the background noise is a lot in my place today. So we were talking about dissociation. This process is not electrolysis. This is dissociation, in which how ions are moving inside the solution. Now we are going to study about electrolysis. Dissociation is used to do electrolysis. अगर dissociation नहीं होगा ions का, separation नहीं होगा तो electricity conduct नहीं होगा. So that is why we need to learn about dissociation. Yes, opposite charges attract each other. Now let us try to understand this term called as electrolysis. Lysis means, no Neha, I don't think that will be possible. Electrolysis. Lysis means separation and electro means electricity. So the separation which will be carried out with the help of electricity will be called as electrolysis. All right. So in electrolysis, we need to see this diagram. Everybody pay attention to this diagram. Again, it's the same kind only. The only difference is that मैंने यहाँ पे bulb नहीं किया है, because the solution I'm going to use is going to conduct electricity. Again, we have a beaker where I've taken copper sulfate solution. I have two rods. Can you see positive and negative? Positive और negative दिख रहा है सबको इधर? And then they are connected to the wires. Then they are connected to the wires. The two electrodes which are made up of copper and carbon are connected to the wires. So we are going to take solution of 1 gram of copper sulfate in 50 ml of water in 100 ml capacity beaker. I'll tell you so. Wait. We are using a thick plate of copper. Thick plate of copper दिख रहा है positive as anode, because anode is positive, and carbon rod as cathode is negative. So मैंने negative terminal पे carbon use किया है और positive terminal पे copper use किया है. Arrange the apparatus as shown in the figure and pass an electric current through the circuit for some time. After we do this, what do we get? We get an electric current. When an electric current starts flowing, Saransh, you can leave the class if you want. $50 times, 100 times also if you type the same thing, no, I will end my lecture when I want. No, you don't have to draw this currently. When an electric current starts flowing through the circuit, the cations, which are C2 plus, why do I write 2 plus here? C plus plus. क्यों 2 plus लिखा है? Because it is donating 2 electrons and becoming stable. So when an electric current starts flowing through the circuit, the cations that are Cu2 plus in the solution, क्योंकि solution copper sulfate से बना है ना, तो copper और sulfate separate हो जाएगा. The copper which is positive charge will go to the negative terminal, that is my cathode. Did you understand till here? Copper atoms which are formed when electrons coming out of the cathode combine with copper ions. अभी ये सर्किट में इफ यू सी द मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन इज शोन टू अस, कैन यू सी ई माइनस जो लिखा है वो मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन है जो Cu के पास से कार्बन रॉड के पास जा रहा है। इसका मतलब क्या है, जो कॉपर आयॉन्स है Cu2 प्लस which are short of electrons which are coming on the carbon are taking up the electrons and getting converted into copper atoms. अभी ये उल्टा है, कॉपर आयन सोल्यूशन में बन रहा है, so they are combining with the electrons and giving us copper atoms. And a deposit of the copper is appearance is seen on the cathode. Even though the copper ions in the solution were used up in this manner, the color of the solution remains the same. Why? जब कॉपर उसमें से निकल गया है तो भी सोल्यूशन का कलर ब्लू क्यों है? This is because while the electric current was on, electrons were removed from the copper atoms as well. हमने कैथोड तो कॉपर, एनोड तो कॉपर से बनाया ना, तो वो कॉपर तो बैटरी से अंदर जा रहा है, जितना कॉपर बाहर आ रहा है उतना कॉपर अंदर भी जा रहा है, इसलिए ब्लू कलर चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. So the copper ions formed in this manner entered the solution. In this way, decomposition of the solute in the solution takes place due to electricity. And that is why the name of this process becomes electrolysis. अब इस प्रोसेस का नाम क्या हो गया? Electrolysis. I'll repeat once again, do not worry, we'll go back to it. So, beginning से करते हैं. Okay. Where there were 3 electrons being given away. That is all taken into consideration when we balance the reaction. It is not C++, it is Cu++. Cu मतलब copper और 2 plus मतलब उसका positive charge. You don't have to write all this. Just listen to me. We were talking about electrolysis. In electrolysis, we have electrodes, which are the one which are conducting electricity. हमारे ये setup में electrodes are copper and carbon. Copper is anode, carbon is cathode. क्यों carbon cathode है? क्योंकि वो negative terminal पे attach किया है. क्यों copper anode है? क्योंकि वो positive terminal पे attach किया है. And the solution, जो solution electricity conduct करने वाला है उसका नाम होता है electrolyte. So what is my electrolyte in this process? It is copper sulfate. What is my electrolyte? It is copper sulfate. तीन चीज याद रखो, electrode, electrolyte and electrolysis. Electrolysis is the name of the process. Electrodes are the one which are conducting electricity, and electrolyte is the solution whose electrolysis is happening. So when I'm switching on the electric current, my dear students, copper sulfate, which is my electrolyte, is getting split up into copper and sulfate. और जो copper है वो Cu2 plus के form में. So that copper being positive goes to the negative terminal, which is made up of carbon. और यहाँ पे सर्किट जब कंप्लीट होता है तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आता है, सो कॉपर उस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को एक्सेप्ट करके कॉपर एटम बन जाएगा. And the blue color of the solution does not change even after removal of copper is because the copper is still giving the copper ions in the solution with the anode. And that is why the process still remains, the color of the solution still remains the same. And the solution and this process is called as electrolysis. I hope now it is clear to you. This process of electrolysis में two important step happens. There are two reactions. One is cathode reaction and the one is anode reaction. The cathode reaction is what? Cathode पे क्या बना था? Copper ions बना था. Cu2 plus. Do you agree to this? Cathode के पास कौन गया? Cu2 plus ना, क्योंकि cathode is negative. तो उसके पास कौन जाएगा? Copper positive. और कॉपर पॉजिटिव कॉपर एटम कैसे बनेगा? जब वो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को एक्सेप्ट करेगा. सो वी रिप्रेजेंट इट एज Cu2 plus accepts 2 electrons and get converted into copper atom, isn't it? और जो एनोड पे कॉपर था, जिस रॉड हमने यूज किया था, वो क्या कर रहा था? कॉपर आयंस और 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स को डोनेट कर रहा था रिएक्शन में. When it was donating, when anode was donating electron, cathode was accepting that electron. No, एक जन डोनेट कर रहा है, एक जन एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है. The 2 electrons come from the anode and the 2 electrons are accepted by the cathode. Did you get it? This is how we represent an electrochemical reaction. Yes, copper sulfate is the electrolyte. This is how we represent an electrochemical reaction. Give the heading as electrolysis and write only these two equations. You can see here I have also mentioned the physical states. AQ matlab aqueous, S matlab solid. And whatever doubts you have related to electrolysis, you can ask me. And those who have finished writing this can leave the class because I'm not teaching anything further. If you have difficulty, you can wait back and ask me. And if you still don't know कि अभी तक कुछ समझ में नहीं आया, हमको difficulty नहीं पता चल रहा है, so we are meeting tomorrow again. I don't know whether maybe tomorrow or next class. That will be the last class of this chapter. So whatever doubts you have, please write it down and keep it with yourself. In the next class, I'll first finish with the chapter and then we'll do whatever is you are having difficulty. Electrolyte means the solution whose electrolysis is going to happen. That is copper sulfate. And electrodes are the one which conducts electricity. एक मिनट, किसी ने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, दिख नहीं रहा. You have to only write this cathode and anode reaction. And those who have understood can leave the lecture. No problem. Revision before exam. Yes, I'll try and discuss with the other teachers and let you know if I can keep a revision. And those who are done can leave. Thank you so much. So electrolysis is a process, in short, if I want to say, is the one which helps us in the separation of ions with the help of electric current. जिसमें हम दो चीज यूज करते हैं, electrodes and electrolyte. Electrode वो होता है जो electricity conduct करता है, और electrolyte वो है जिसका electrolysis होने वाला है. And after we do the process, then we have to represent this in the form of cathode and anode reaction. Bye. Carbon can be used as the electrode. No, we are using here.